There's no better way to program your subconscious mind than listening to positive statements over and over. And there's no better way to do that than in a semi-meditative alpha brainwave state. I've created 3 prosperity meditations on hightimelinebooks.com to help you do just that. And for a limited time, you can get all 3 for the price of 2. So take your life to a higher vibe. Check them all out at hightimelinebooks.com. Welcome, everybody, to the Fun Astrology Podcast and to the last day of Aquarius and to a new week. Thomas Miller, thanks for joining us. I heard an airline pilot one time describe his job as hours and hours of boredom interrupted by sudden moments of terror. Well, we get that in the context of flying an airplane with hundreds of people on board. This is just our astrology. But this week represents a lot of not much, and then some really big deals. And one of those really big deals is tomorrow morning when the sun moves into Pisces. Liz Grace is going to be here with us to talk about that. But I want to come back and revisit that at the end of this episode. Meanwhile, I want to give us that lay of the land as we're flying over the country. What does it look like collectively for all of us? And that would mostly involve the moon, because the moon enters Scorpio today. Now, it's this evening, 7:18 Eastern Time, but it is the last aspect before the moon goes void, of course, today, is a trine with the sun. So you have a really powerful moon on your side all day today. Good things for you shining yourself out, making a statement, taking a little risk to put yourself out there in a way that you may not. Be careful, because Mars is still in retrograde and it is getting stronger every day. So don't put yourself into a conflict situation. But if you had the opportunity to just shine the light on your own billboard a little early, why, go ahead and give it a try. Maybe you ask for something that you otherwise wouldn't ask for. Roll the dice, see what happens. And speaking of rolling the dice, let's check in with Kristin for this week's Lucky Stars Report. Hi, Kristin.
Hi, Thomas and Fun Astrology Podcast. I hope everyone is enjoying the end of their Aquarius season. Today is a cautionary day. We do have a lucky day on Wednesday, but we end the week with more challenging energy. There is quite a few lucky days next week, or if you want to look at the lucky days for March coming up, join the Lucky Stars Club. Thomas and I can't wait to see you there. I hope you all have a lucky week.
Thanks, Kristin. And she and I recorded the March Lucky Stars. That will be out this coming weekend. So if you are in the Lucky Stars Club, be watching for that email to come this coming weekend. I like these keywords from this software program I bought some years ago called Mastro. It's Maestro, I believe. I don't know how they come up with these, but it is interesting and something to follow. The first half of the week is happiness and change and joy and art and love and friendship and happiness again. But then, boy, the second half of the week changes, and maybe this has to do with Mars going back direct on Sunday. But things like determination, but then it takes a dark side over the weekend: loneliness, irritability, emotionality, depression. So you can monitor that in your own life. Obviously, these are not, clinical kinds of descriptors. But if you feel a little happier at the beginning of the week and a little more blue or challenged the end of the week, well, maybe look to the sky and see how that fits in your own chart. Now let's fly over the landscape again, because this is important stuff as we move toward the first part of March. It's going to get very interesting. We have Venus in its shadow right now. That means it's slowing down to go retrograde. Venus retrogrades are only every couple of years, so this is not a frequent event, and it lasts only about 6 weeks. Venus will be retrograde from March 1st through April 12th. We'll be talking a lot more about that, and Kristin did talk about it last Thursday, so if you didn't catch her episode on Thursday of last week, highly encourage you to go back and grab that. Then Mercury, on the same day that Venus goes retrograde, Mercury begins to slow down because it goes retrograde on March 15th. That will last about 3 weeks into the first week of April. But the other one that I want to put our focus and attention on is that moon wobble, and it's coming. This time the sun will conjoin the north node of the moon, and that will happen on March 17th. That's a Monday. So we back up. If you want to take the 21-day run forward, which I tend to lean toward, then that is next Monday, a week from today. The moon wobble will begin again. And as I recorded with Kristin this weekend, we're having 2 eclipses in March, and I'm sure you've been aware of these, but it's time to etch these into our consciousness now. The total lunar eclipse will be on March 14th, and the partial solar eclipse will be on March 29th. And of course, the moon wobble will peak right in between them. This is the other little piece of this that I wanted to just talk about for a minute, because as the sun moves into Pisces, we are starting to really focus that spotlight on the later degrees of Pisces particularly, because as we move toward that March eclipse, we're going to also be moving the sun through Pisces, shining the light on this. And that means in natural zodiacal order, also a spotlight on the 12th house. I think growing up, I don't know, something about my own path, I guess, but I always kind of took the side of the underdog in things, and the 12th house it's the underdog house of the zodiac. If you asked Robert, he would say secret sorrows and self-undoing, or of course also hidden treasures too. But it is about secrets, and it's about our subconscious mind, because Mark Edmund Jones, who Robert reveres his work related to the houses, says that it is the reservoir from which the first house draws subconsciously. In other words, it is our subconscious mind. So get ready, because beginning tomorrow at 5 a.m. Eastern, however that correlates to your own time zone, the subconscious is going to be fully exposed, fully enlightened, fully illuminated, brought to a forefront position in our lives for the next month. It is about secret treasures. It can also be about the things that will bring us down. Secrets, things hidden. That's the whole work of Neptune, the planet of illusion and delusion, moving through Pisces, now positioned in the 12th house, right on the first house cusp. And look at all these secrets that are being exposed. I think that continues, and maybe that even amplifies this month. And then as we move in March, first for Neptune, and May for Saturn, we're going to move all of this action into Aries. Of course, that will be ruled by Mars, fresh now moving direct as of Sunday, and Elise is going to talk about that on Friday. Will people start to demand action? Are we going to want to take more action in our lives, take control of things more? Are we going to want to sit around the campfire and sing Kumbaya less and want to get up and get into action, move it forward, start something, react to something? I love these little yods that appear in the chart just for a day because it's the moon, and that's the way it is today. The moon is up at the top of this yod. The yod is that witch's hat formation, that long, tall pyramid, if you will. And the moon is at the top, and then you have Uranus at one side of the base of the hat, and then Saturn, the north node, and Neptune on the other side. And remember, yods are kind of destined, fated types of events, and it's almost like this is saying, it is fated that this truth is coming out, and it is going to be time to take new actions, to step into our genius, to take that Uranus radical transformational work that we're under right now. That Aquarian revolutionary future that we've all been looking forward to. We have to expose the skeletons in the closet in order to get them out. Well, I'm running long today, I apologize, but there was a lot to get in, so it's a really, truly exciting time. I have not yet recorded a weekly video, but I am planning on it, so check the YouTube channel. Hopefully we'll have a weekly video up as well, showing some of these things. I hope you have a wonderful day, a fantastic week. Enjoy the flow of energy as the moon moves from Scorpio on Monday through to Capricorn by Saturday. The girls will be here, and I'll be back on Wednesday. I hope you have a wonderful day. Sending you lots of love. Liz Grace will be here tomorrow to bring Pisces season in for us all.